So I've got my education, I don't have any experience. How can I get some experience? It's a catch-22. It sucks, and it is. There's no easy answer to this. So it's getting better, particularly in the online world, and there are more people now that are offering internships. I have two. So I have a lady that does our social media, and we've got someone that's doing our that'll be doing our multimedia and a few other bits and pieces, and I'm about to hire an intern to do a recruiting for us too. Look at graduate schemes, volunteer. So there's Seek that has a website called Seek Volunteer. Anything really to gain practical experience. Okay. I love people during their studies that have worked. I don't care what they've done. They could work at Woolworths packing shelves or behind a checkout. Right? I love people that have worked in hospitality. I don't care if you work for Mustard Catering and you're a waiter. Perfect, right? I also love people that have travelled. And the reason I love people who have travelled for different backgrounds, and particularly ones that have got out of their comfort zone and gone to another country, is exactly that. You have to learn to relate to other people. You're not in your home environment, and you've got to get used to basically thinking on your feet, which is a lot of what life and work is all about. A lot of the big players have graduate internship programs and those sorts of things. Everyone's seen the website called meetup.com, correct? Yep. There's a whole heap of different groups you can have a look at and join. Try it. Just go, have a look, see what's around. There might be one on, I don't know, .NET or C# or whatever it is from an IT perspective. You never know, right? Same thing, there are meetups and what have you too for the startup sector, right? So if you're in a technical role or a non-technical role, consider being part of that. Use some of those skills to help something that the startup might not actually get up. That's fine, you're learning. Look at the experience and those sorts of things you're going to gain to get a minimal viable product up to a certain point in 6 to 8 weeks. The experience will be priceless, right? Check out, there's obviously there's a heap of different websites and those sort of things as well, but have a look at that site.
I was just going to ask, with the startups, are there any specific sites? Because it's hard to know what startups are out there.
Yep.
And I actually met the guy for SpaceCube, Brody, I think.
Yep, Brody McCulloch.
But yes, it's hard to know what startups are there. So how would you go about then trying to approach them and seeing how you can leverage off that? So.
Yep, very good question. Do you want to answer it? I'll answer it. Oh, sorry guys. So the question was around startups, and how to get some access into the new age. Because surprisingly, right, it's the 18 to 24-year-olds or 26-year-olds, I think, are the major age group at the moment through innovation and startup that are going to the banks and getting fundings. So they're the ones that are going to AmCom Upstart, and they're going to Bankwest, and they're going to CBA and those sorts of things and getting grants of between 5 to 20 grand, right? Which is a
question. Do you want to join startup to experience or employment?
Both. I just want to
startup, don't employ.
True, but so I guess if depending what they do, I'm happy to gain some experience and learn, and then use that to also promote.
And SpaceCube is a perfect place to start.
Yeah.
So you got all those startups out there. Let yourself know, and they'll come to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you say, this is what I got to offer, and they'll say, sure, right?
Yeah.
They won't have funding or pay themselves.
Yeah.
So don't expect them to have money.
Yeah. So I should so Nilesh, I've known in the industry for a little while. So Nilesh there's a thing called E-Group. Nilesh is part of that, and he ran. What was the event last year? The West Tech Assemblage. So Nilesh does a lot of work in the startup in ICT sector, as I do and we do for Beecham Group, right? Because the better and the stronger we have a growing startup sector in WA, it's fantastic for everyone because it creates a beautiful new economy. So there's startup incubators there's incubators like SpaceCubes and a number of others that are growing, Atomic Sky, etc. I paid for an internship last year for a woman. Rachel Stein to do an app called FitJack, right? So she was a personal trainer, hasn't done IT at all, right? But great, because if she gets FitJack up as well, which she's about to enter into negotiations with HBF, happy days, right? There's some really, really cool stuff coming through. But I'll talk to you about some things on that. But it's not quite right yet because the startup scene in WA is growing quickly, but it's still at early stages.
Yeah, it can employ, if you are there from the beginning and you have invested your time in them, and when they get the funding, commercialization process, and they are now in a process where they want to expand and scale, they need that core team behind them who supported them from the beginning. And that's where you get your investment of time in return as an employment.
Yep.
But initially, you will have to self-support yourself.
Yep. Sweat equity.